Well, hello and welcome to another trigger point research video for breaking up, breaking down, and setups. Basically what we talk about here is how to look at a chart, how to look at some things that we're looking at from a breaking up, breaking down. Now, again, these are setups. These are actually sent out to our clients when, in fact, they do break certain parameters that we set up through our algorithms. But I want to show you today something that's interesting, because if you look at something like an F5 and you just take a look at this chart here, and we have clearly some support on the weekly chart. You can look over the last several months, last year. You have all these support points, and if you drew a line straight across, basically what you would have is a very simple, just draw a line, and you can see that that's a simple support line. But the way that we look at things is a little bit different. Now, first of all, this has been a stock that has been very vulnerable to any kind of earnings announcements. And when you look at this, you realize it's been a very volatile stock. You have several times that the stock has dropped multiple percents on earnings and announcements from other companies. And recently, it's obviously taken a hit as well, as cloud companies have been very much in the position of being sold. But let's take a look at some of the ways that we look at this. And one of the things I want to show you, first of all, is our X-ray. Now, when we look at this X-ray, what you can see, again, is there are areas and pockets of areas that there are limited volume participation, limited areas where the price has dropped, and you can see them as gaps. When we look, for example, at over in the, let's call it the April 2012 area, what you see is that in this area here, and in this area here between about 80 and 100, and then back up to about from 110 to about 120, there has been very little participation. You got the same situation here. What we're seeing is a look into where the players are buying and selling. And if we see a move into that region, whether it's on a upside or downside, if it breaks down or breaks up, this is where we want to start playing. This is where we want to start investing, dependent on the direction of that move. Now let's go over to a daily look, and this is even more interesting to look at because there are a tremendous amount of gaps. When you look at this gap, you see a tremendous amount of gap here, but at the same time, you see nothing here, which is back in February, because of course that gap down tremendously, so there's no volume being played right there. But now let's go one step further. Let's take a look at where our key levels of overall resistance and support are. Okay, so let's kind of look right now at this. We have now it clearly breaking above right here a key area of resistance. And if you notice, we also see right within the region of about 75 through about 78, there is very little participation. And if you get beyond that, we look backwards a bit, right here at about the 80.35 to about 80.60 region, there is again an area that is very limited volatility and volume. It kind of condenses and consolidates right here. Now, what we want to do is look for this to break out significantly on decent volume. Now, one of the things that you're going to see is that F5 has a good amount of short interest. There is about 5.5% of the free float that is short. So if we do see some kind of a breakout here and a move to the upside, we think there's an opportunity to do so. Now let's take a look a little bit at further at, for example, what this looks like on a 60-minute chart. Now you're starting to see that on a 60-minute chart, there is very little resistance that this moved through. See how quickly this moved right here? This bar right here. Look how quickly that moved right through the point that there was no resistance at all. This is becoming a point that we may look for, if it can find some legs, a setup that will actually become an alert for our clients at Trigger Points Research. Check out Trigger Point Research because we did send out an alert over the last couple of days. And if you're interested, there's a 14-day free trial. We really encourage you, if you're looking for stocks to trade, this is the place to do it. You get an email, you get a text. Check it out. Make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and also follow us all over the web and on Twitter. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.